Good evening, everyone. My name is William Green, and this evening I will be discussing the religious pluralism of colonial South Carolina. Now, South Carolina was originally known as Carolina, and it was established in 1670. But the land grant itself was given in 1663 by King Charles II to 8 men known as the Eight Lords Proprietors. These eight Lords Proprietors were men of means, but as well men that had colonial interest in investments in the colonies prior. Key example, William Berkeley of Virginia. But we're also going to see that the man who was really in charge of this group was none other than Lord Anthony Ashley Cooper. Now, Lord Anthony Ashley Cooper was the Earl of Shaftesbury, and he was friends with his secretary by the name of John Locke. This is the same Locke of two treatises of government and a letter on toleration. Now, Locke and Shaftesbury are going to write a document in 1669 that is going to shape the economic, social, and political foundations of the colony, this being the fundamental constitutions of Carolina, the 1669 rendition. There were 5 renditions of this document that were never actually accepted by the colonists themselves. This is partly due to an Anglican group of Barbadians known as the Goose Creek Men. But we are going to see that in this document, Lord Anthony Ashley Cooper and John Locke write in 15 separate clauses discussing religion. The two most important, though, were the one that stated the Anglican Church would be the church of the colony, but the second one, that's probably more important, stated that they were going to be religiously tolerant. And how did he state this? It was that he was going to allow for dissenters, Jews, and heathens into the colony for no other purpose than to really encourage that they might come to the faith. But there's no sign that there was ever meant to be religious utopia in Carolina. The truth is, it was an economic goal because more people equaled more money coming back into the pockets of the proprietors. But another element was the political goal, because the proprietors knew that if they welcomed these individuals who were coming for the promise of religious freedom, that they would support the proprietors in their political ambitions. Now, of these groups, you did see dissenting groups such as the Baptists, the Quakers, you saw the Presbyterians all making their way into Carolina. You saw another group really making its way and really making more of an impact than almost any other group, and that's the French Huguenots. The Huguenots showing up pretty much from the beginning, and we're seeing them in 1680. By 1685, you had a presence of multiple different denominations. Once again, the dissenters. You also had the Huguenots, but we're also going to see by 1695 there's a Jewish presence in the colony. So we're seeing a vast religious toleration, but toleration did not mean equality, as it really just meant you could worship openly, but we're still going to have the Anglican Church still had the political means. The taxes from the colony were still going to pay the clergy of Anglican churches and make renditions of the church. And the 1706 Church Act makes this pretty clear, as it makes the Anglican Church the official church of the colony, and it would stay that way until 1778, when, during the Revolution, of course, we're going to step away from our Anglican backing. Now, with that being said, there are political movements where Anglicans decided that anyone who was not a member of the Church of England could not conduct a marriage. Therefore, Huguenot marriages were found invalid, and their children were not able to maintain their land holdings. These are just some of the examples that we're going to find of political issues, but still a result of the toleration that was allowed. Colonial Carolina really does show a political pluralism that would help establish the American identity, and this is evidenced by the fact that so many groups were allowed to live openly together, even though they might not have had the same political power. Thank you for watching.